We got a special guest here. We've already started. I'm going to introduce him at the top. We have the winner of Big Brother Canada Season 10, Kevin Jacobs. Kevin, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited. As I was just mentioning, big fan. We've talked back and forth. And just on a whim, I asked you if you wanted to cover this with us, and you were like, hell yes. Before we do get into that, I need to fan a little over Big Brother. So we are going to take just a quick Big Brother. I have a couple questions for you. First
Hit
off,
me. It's been
I
a
know.
while.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I knew you were ready for it, Kevin. What I love about your game is, I'm not gonna lie. In my mind, it's like textbook. You do what you should go out to Big Brother and want to do. You were on the block week one in the last week, correct? That's the
Mhm.
only times, if my memory is serving.
And the finale, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, yes. At the very, very end. Yeah. So just at the very beginning and very end, you were able to sit on the block and survive. And this is because this is a man after my own heart. You didn't win a single HOH. In my opinion, an HOH is good. It gives you safety, but you also going to get a lot of blood on your hands. This leads me to my first question. Do you think winning an HOH does more net good to win or more net bad in the game of Big Brother?
It does more net good. You just have to make the
Mm.
right decisions. And I was in a season where people were frequently, sometimes due to my influence, making the wrong decision.
Sometimes he says, Kevin, I'm not even Kevin oftentimes convinced people to do things that were probably not in their best interests. And it was so fun to watch. And I I feel like your castmates and a lot of people really underestimated you, but the entire time I was watching, I was like, no, this guy knows exactly what he is doing.
You know what? I think we all have a plan. And then the first week I got
Yeah.
put up, like you said. And if anybody's listening to this, they're not a Big Brother fan. If you're nominated for eviction in the first week, typically that's a death knell. You are
Yes.
likely losing the game, even if you don't go home that week.
You're going to be on the block a bunch of times if you
Yeah.
survive.
And then I was like, screw it. I'm going to have a blast. I'm going to swing for the fences. I have nothing to lose at this point. And that kind of gave me the permission to just go out and
Yeah.
do what I thought was right.
I love that because, like you said, it's a 50-50 shot. You go home if you're on the block, and you got to take every chance you can. So this is my question for you. There are two
Yeah.
very different, well, I guess three, like you said, two at the end and one at the beginning. Which time were you more scared sitting on the block? Do you think like week one where you're like, oh my God, this could end so early, or towards the end where you're like, I'm so close, like it can't end now?
I was pretty confident then that I was gonna be sitting in the final two. Like so I was in danger at the final four and the final three.
Hmm.
I knew I was making it through each round, but the first week, especially having not played before, I always like this when you have a bunch of new people playing a reality show. No one has any idea what they're doing. And yeah, I had a bunch of people telling me I was safe the first week. The woman I was on the block with was bawling her eyes out because she'd sort of been told, like, you're going home. And I felt for her, but you never know. So I was terrified that
You
first
never
week.
know. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think that would be my fear too. Like you put so much time, effort to actually get on the show. To go out first is always a bitter pill to swallow. This one is like really technical for
Throw me in the
me.
weeds, baby.
You always voted correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You voted in the majority every single time. But what really is impressive, I think, in where you use this was with your goodbye messages. Goodbye messages are unique in Big Brother in the sense that the person is out of the game. They're usually going to the jury if you're, paying it to like the important ones. And it's like your last thing you get to say to them. And I think every single one of your goodbye messages, I was like, that was perfect. Everyone I saw, I was like, that was perfect. I was like, he did that great. Is that something conscious you did, or were you just like the ultimate guy, like send off, like what I mean? Did you know what to say to these people, or was this like an intentional thing? Like I'm using these goodbye messages more intentionally.
It was a big part of my strategy. So there's not great season of US Big Brother where this guy Josh Martinez won,
It's my
and
first live season.
basically the way he won, he was up against a really amazing strategist, was with goodbye messages, revealing everything. I think that 90+% of jurors in any competitive reality show are going to want someone who maybe outplayed them in some sort of way or made them feel good on their way out. So if you're still hiding things or lying to someone about why you voted them out, that's a problem. So I just wanted to be real, tell them my strategy, and also butter them up, which is true. In most cases, I'm voting you out because I don't think I can beat you at the end.
No, and that's such a good point. And the circle is totally different, but I because there's no jury at the end. But when I brutally backstabbed someone, he came to my apartment quickly after, and I was like, hey, I got to tell you what happened. And I got such a good fan response from that, because most of the show was a very bad fan response for myself. But I got a very good one towards the end when everyone was like, I really liked how you were able to own everything you were doing and like just looked him in the face and said, I'm sorry, but I need to do this. And so I think if the fans are happy about that, you got a great read on juries in general. You're a big Twitter guy. Did you recognize Kyle Moore going into the house?
I did.
You did. That's so funny.
I saw him and I was like, where do I know this guy from? Because it's also there. The day you walk in, there's so much stimulation. The brightest lights you've ever seen. The Big Brother Canada houses are like decorated in wild ways.
Beautiful.
The 15 biggest personalities you've ever met in your life. So I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. And then I got it and I wanted to use it as a way to bond. But before that, he told the whole house.
Yeah, I was going to say, he ended up telling everyone, but I had a feeling you would recognize it. Because it was a big deal. This guy named Kyle Moore was like listed in the Big Brother cast, and people found him on Twitter. Oh, and it was the wrong Kyle Moore. But then what does Big Brother Canada do next season? They put the new Kyle Moore in it was wild. It didn't work out probably as well as some people would have liked, but it was funny as hell to me. And then last thing, Big Brother wise, I actually met Moose this weekend, and he told me I needed to say hi to you. He was excited that we were talking.
That's my guy. And that's one of the things I think about sometimes with these shows is he was my friend in the house. We didn't work together at all. Not even a little bit. The guy is one of my closest friends from the entire he had nothing but amazing TV experience.
He had nothing but great things to say about you. He did a quick impersonation of you, and I was like, that's pretty good.
He does a really, it's good.
He, I don't mean to put him on blast. I don't know if he'll ever even listen to this. He actually was an alternate for The Circle the same season I was supposed to go on. So he was like telling me all about
season,
that. Yeah, and I was like, that's insane. I've never met, he was probably like a block away from me just waiting like I was. So really cool.
It's wild
really cool
how
stuff.
Those things work out.
It is.
He's like a junior Marvin.
Yeah, they probably were thinking Marvin, BB Circle legend. So that's too funny. I can't get over the Marvin shit, though, if I'm being honest. It's just, some people know, some people don't. Marvin was on America's Got Talent, and then he was announced as a photo as a Big Brother cast the day before Big Brother 24. And then as it was starting, they were like, Marvin is no longer part of the cast. Here's Joseph. And then it came out like a week later. It was like, Marvin's going to be on the new season of The Circle. And sure as shit, here he is on the new season. I was like, this man got cast for 3 reality TV shows in 1 year. And I don't mean to call this guy out, but he definitely lied to a lot of casting directors. Dude, they were like, have you ever been on TV? And he was like, no, never.
Confidence is key.
I love it.
He was just, some people are looking for a job. They get on LinkedIn. They're spamming out resumes and cover letters. Yeah. This guy was just going to every single reality show, and whatever he was putting out, they were picking up.
He needs to open a casting workshop. But I got one last question for you, Kevin, Big Brother related.
Yeah.
If there's another All-Star season, who do you not want to see out there? No one's listening. We're at the end of the podcast. Who are you scared of?
So let me preface this with I would love to go back. I would also love if it was down the line. If it was 5 or 6 years from now. I think what made me okay at the game was that I had certain life experiences that applied. I don't want to go in as the same person I was going in last time. Like I don't. It's also a really intense thing, and taking 3 months off. I'd rather be a few years in. I don't want to see anyone who. It's hard. It would be hard for anybody for my season.
That's what I was wondering. Is there anyone?
If they are, and I have a personal relationship with, it's either going to be, okay, this person is someone that I can't turn on because, I don't know.
It becomes new.
What if I invite somebody to my wedding? What if I've met
totally different now.
Or their kids or something like that? That's a totally different dynamic, and very likely, as cutthroat and whatever as I am, I wouldn't be able to do anything to them. And the other side is like, anyone who I've become friends with through the community or whatever, those are complicated.
No, it's a great answer.
It would scare me.
That makes a ton of sense. And that is really astute because 5, 6 years down the road, these people are going to have been in your life for a long time now, like you said. So congrats on your engagement this year too. That obviously was a big thing in the Big Brother house. So that I love that shit. Well, my favorite moment,
Yeah.
and this is my last Big Brother question. My favorite moment of yours is obviously, I think when you had to fake quit, and just how like everyone was. I mean, you fooled them, most of them. You fooled most of them, but like they were very upset by you leaving, like very, very upset. Whereas me, the
Yeah.
game player, I'd be like, "Dang, Kevin, don't go." I'd be like, "One less person, though."
Yeah.
That's my favorite moment. What was your favorite moment? Take out winning, like the winning moment.
It was the gummy bear drop.
Oh,
So we had a week where the HOH nominates 2 people for eviction. There was also a twist. There were 8 people left in the game at the time. There's an alliance of 5 that the HOH is in, an alliance that I wasn't very committed to. And the HOH nominates 2 people outside from the alliance. Usually this is fine. Like
happens.
you nominate someone, the votes are there, we'll save them. I really wanted to get out someone from my own alliance that week. So we're all going back and forth. I swear on my fake marriage. We're all trying to maneuver it so he puts up somebody else. And then an hour before the ceremony, he brings everybody up into his room and he says, I still haven't decided. And in my head, I'm like, what? He makes us all swear that we're committed. He goes and grabs this canister, and in the canister are 4 gummy bears, 3 yellow and 1 red. The person who pulls out the red is the pawn. Okay. So we all go around. And then the guy, he asks this one guy who he'd screwed over a couple times before, do you want to be a part of this? Like, you don't have to be. And the guy's like, yeah, I do. That guy pulls out the red gummy bear. And this guy was a smart dude, like very in shape, likely could have made a run at the end of the game, had all the features you look for in your typical Big Brother winner. He pulled out the red, and then we voted him out that week.
The red gummy bear sent him home, aka Kevin Jacobs. No, you're so right. That is probably one of the most epic. That shit had me on the edge of my seat. And obviously, as an American, I watch a little behind. So someone was like, "Oh, let me know when you watch this episode." And I was like, "Oh, okay, something's gonna happen." And so, that was like great ATV in my opinion.
You usually don't know, at least in my opinion, whether something is like okay or good or pretty good or how the season's being received or
When you're
something like
there.
that. When that moment happened, immediately I'm in my head, I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible. Like, not just my game,
a
I'm like,
fan.
as a fan, as a viewer, like
That's great. Thanks for indulging me, Kevin. That's fun.